Hi, my name is Betsy Bohan, and I'm the creator and producer of the Reclaiming series, COVID-19. I wanted to produce a short intro just so you would understand who I am, my expertise, and why I'm doing this. Well, first, who I am. I'm Betsy Bohan, as I said, and I'm an RN. I still have an active license at 64. In spite of being disabled in 2009 in home care, I've kept my license up. And if you're wondering, well, she doesn't look disabled, what is it? Well, it's my hands, and it's my vocal cords, and some other areas. I tend to develop calcifications in areas of inflammation. And well, I had 5 surgeries in 2 years, and those included vocal cords, not for calcifications, but for growths created by having to talk to a lot of hard of hearing patients that didn't always have their hearing aids in or available. And so the result is a left sluggish vocal cord, and actually that was before. So my vocal specialist actually is the one who said, Betsy, you could do YouTube. So that's part of the reason I started YouTube. Well, I digress. Back to why I'm doing this. So as a nurse of these many years and being in active care, actually starting and having been through the entire lifespan, beginning with neonatal intensive care, babies, well-born babies, teaching prenatal, all the way through the lifespan to ending in home care, working with the elderly and hospice patients. It has been my privilege, and it has been my experience to have cared for thousands and thousands of patients, and in different venues, not just in the Midwest where I'm from, but in the hills of West Virginia, into the inner city of Camden, New Jersey, and back again. So here I am now, and I'm creating this video because I have watched since the beginning of COVID with great interest and great mind for detail to see what was going on, because I noticed some things that just were not sitting right with me. Things I won't talk about now, but things that I'll get to in some of my videos. And as a risk and safety specialist for 3 hospitals, it was my job to have to examine every incident and evaluate every incident that happened to patients and visitors, and assign risk, look for responsibility, figure out why did it happen, and work with others to determine how we could prevent it and what things we needed to put in place. I also worked with the inside people and outside counsel attorneys with helping to settle claims and suits, and providing experience on protocol and policies and helping to write those. And so I'm very skilled at being able to look at things with a very attentive eye to great detail and put things together. Now, a couple other things that motivate me is just I have a real love for patient. My motto is I love God, I have a love for God, and I have a love for people. And if you look back on my videos, you'll find that out. I have 46 videos already, but I've been waiting and watching and did not feel yet it was right for me to speak up. And I remember I told God, I said, when you make it personal, then I'll know it's time. Well, He made it very personal. It became very personal in November 16th, when I started with my first symptoms, GI, to very bad sinus, got the test, and it was positive on November 20th. And later talked to various physicians, and then actually ended up in the ER being sent by an urgent care because he felt like I needed more support, and they didn't have an x-ray there. And so I got an x-ray in the ER, but at the same time the doctor found out that I was unvaccinated. And many of you might be poo-pooing me even on the other side, but this is the problem. Never in all my history have I seen such hateful behavior towards each other based on our medical choices. Not even with AIDS. I mean, what has happened is horrendous to our healthcare system. Now in that ER, as I was sick and I waited 8 hours, once he found out I was unvaccinated, he lost it. And his exam room became a bully pulpit. And he verbally excoriated me on his whipping post for the remaining time. He was so angry he missed his opportunity to treat me for pneumonia, even though the x-ray said given positive COVID pneumonitis. Hello, as a risk and safety and as a nurse, that's saying her lungs are inflamed and she's probably on the way to having COVID pneumonia. It's probably the start, given all her other symptoms and given this is day 12 and she's so sick. But no, he chose to verbally berate me, not treat me even as a valuable human being. You know, that's one thing in my nursing career. I took care of many patients that were far different from me, and some who probably, I don't know if they even would like who I was, but I never allowed that to dictate how I would treat them. I always gave my best to each patient, never verbally berated them for their choices, and gave them the best care possible. But I don't see that that's happened. In fact, when that happened to me, I heard stories of other people being mistreated and not even cared for. So after I left that ER, they had sent my husband home because he had COVID too, only he just had a cough. And he had fatigue. I told him, honey, we can't go back there because I believe I'd die. I said, so we're going to have to take care of this ourselves. And so with many prayers and with much instruction really from the great physician who is God, and like I said, I will not apologize for my faith or be ashamed of it, because my faith in God has been a great transforming power in my life since I've been 17. And if you want to find out about that, you can go to my other videos and look up my freedom story that's in 4 parts, and I think you'll be surprised. Anyway, watching this and experiencing this, and then for the rest of the winter having to basically rescue myself. In fact, if you look at my trailer, all of those oximeter readings were mine, even the one over 80. I felt cardiac pain on a regular basis at night when I would sleep, because my breathing and my oximeters would drop into the 80s, and I would feel the chest pain, and I would wake up with that sense of impending doom, which I know I asked as triage nurse to patients many times to find out if they were having a cardiac arrest. So I know my heart was crying out for oxygen, and I had to get up and walk and deep breathe and go back to bed and do so many things. That's a story unto itself. But that is what prompted me to get on my video and to change the course of what I was doing, because I believe that God allowed that, and that when He allowed it, it made opportunity for me to not only see what others were going through, but to identify with them and to speak up. And now, having been made well, I have no COVID brain, I have no COVID fatigue, my lungs are completely clear. I want to teach you what I did and what God put on my heart and reminded me of as a nurse, and from my expertise and the knowledge that I've gained, what I used to get me better, to reclaim my lungs and my life from COVID-19. So thank you for joining me. I look forward to sharing my story and sharing these things that I am praying and believing will benefit you in the future. Now, when you watch my videos, one thing that's far different from other series is that when I'm done sharing the information, I'll let you all know, but I'm going to stay on and I'm going to pray for those of you who would like me to pray for you. I remember how frightening and scary it was to wake up in the night and not be able to breathe and be COVID. Not that I'm afraid of dying, because I'm not. I know I'll be going to heaven. But that sense of impending doom, that difficulty breathing, the tiredness, the exhaustion, everything, the sense of not knowing. I get it. I know what that was like. It took me a long time. But again, like that verse said that I read in the Bible, it says, God comforted me and He gave me the ability and instruction how to heal. And that's what I want to share with you from my expertise and from the great physician. So once again, thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.